Twitch. Hi, chat
Hey, now
room.
I'm in the chat room. There we go.
Hopefully they weren't like turning up their audio really, really loud. Like I don't hear anything yet, and then just like kaboom, John's here yelling at you really loud.
I don't know what's
Um,
going on with the show. Why is it?
my ears. Hello. um, hey everybody, we're here. They did. It totally worked. Yeah, maybe next time I'll find a way to do some music. The problem is that my computer doesn't recognize, it doesn't have its own audio source that it recognizes. So the problem is that if I want to mute just Ben and I, it means I mute everything else. So I can't just put on like music, because otherwise you would just hear Ben and music.
Well, what you need me to do, or what we need to do, is you just tell me, and I can mute my microphone and send you audio.
Oh,
Then you can
nice.
just mute yourself.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah,
And then I could just let music play and people would have an idea of what's
yeah.
going
That
on.
something's going on.
All
Because
right.
otherwise it's like, oh no.
All right. I hear you. I
All
hear
right. Well, I would hope so.
you.
Because if you couldn't, then this whole show thing would have a really big challenge to start with.
All right. We have a good question from the chat right off the bat here tonight. John, why is the
Okay.
Dark Portal green? The answer is the Dark Portal is green because the game was at its best when the portal was green, and the game was at its worst when it was red. So I'm only going to display the green version.
Well, technically, it can still be read now. So, what are you saying? That even now is not good?
Well, now it's irrelevant, right? Like,
Yeah, kind of. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and tweet out that we're live.
it was like my most like back in my day. I only liked the green portals. Bah.
I wonder if all portals only come in Christmas colors.
Yeah, Christmas portals.
Yeah. Now you're thinking of the Christmas portals.
We've done it.
Join us at twitch.tv/Azura RT. I love that I'm saying that to the people who are already here.
Yeah, they know. They know.
Wow. Well, that's good.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'm
Yep.
going to retweet that.
Yep.
You're going to make your phone buzz, John.
Nope. It won't. My phone doesn't buzz.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't buzz. Does it, Woody?
Doesn't do either of those things. I had Twitter notifications on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to turn them off.
Why is Mountain Dew green?
Uh,
Easy. Because that's when Mountain Dew was the best. It was at its best.
Mountain Dew's green because through a deep fermentation process, they pull out the rich soil-like ingredients into the dew. Okay, well, speaking of new things that I made, I have this. I haven't decided when we switch to all of these. So like, I've got this cool new "We're preparing the roundtable" standby.
Okay.
But then I also have this, which is a nice like, hey, before we go to cameras thing,
Oh,
and I think it's pretty neat.
oh, that's kind of cool.
And I don't know when I show this, but then we go from this to the new overlay, which looks a lot like this, but with our faces in it.
Oh, okay. Like by our faces in it, like is your face Illidan and mine's the Murloc or something like that?
Yeah, basically. No,
Oh, okay.
that's
I
no.
figured.
We're both on the round table.
And then when we have guests are just like in the circles
They're just floating.
for Azeroth and Round Table.
They're
It's like
floating.
laughing.
Floating in space.
I just referenced something that I never watched because it was like 20 years before I was born.
You know, laughing.
Everybody
Everybody's
knows Laughing.
favorite show. Everybody loves these references. These hot
Yeah.
references.
Hot takes.
Hot takes.
All right. Well, let's. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the pre-show recording and start the show recording, and let's get this started off.
Faux show. Show recording.
Yeah. Well, it is. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to do though.
Where is Argus in the overlay? It's not there. We haven't gone to Argus yet.
Yeah. Plus, that's that's Illidan when he's at the Burning Temple or Black Temple.
The Burning Temple.
And Succub is burning too.
It's probably burning. There's a lot of fire going on.
Yeah. Do you think the green fire's hot?
No, I think it's minty fresh.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, it's super hot.
It's like blue fire, but green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can do that.
Do you think there's a noticeable difference if you're on fire with green fire versus blue fire versus orange fire? Are you just basically like, ah, it burns?
Yeah, I think it's gonna really suck. It's gonna be very hot, regardless. But I mean, maybe it's so hot that it insta melts you, or maybe it just like completely vaporizes your nerve endings first, and then it's not really hot. So it's like, oh, my arm's green fired.
I don't know. I mean, these are the quandaries that face our uncertain time.
That's very true. All right, let's get this thing started.
Yeah, we should. Are you doing the intro? How are you doing
I'll
this?
just jump right into the whole like episode 239,
Uh-huh.
like that. Sound
Yeah.
good?
Yeah,
Okay.
your usual what you do every week.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's honestly it's for consistency.
Yeah.
It's something I when I listen to Convert to Raid a whole lot, it was like I know I'm listening to Convert to Raid because it has that same intro and I like it.
I guess
So
that's one way to look at things.
well, you look at it as it's probably really boring and I need to change it up every single week.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a thing I do every week. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, with that, how about I just go with welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 229. My name is Ben Bumhofer, and with me, as always, is John Jagger. Hey, John, what's up?
Hello, Ben! It's Saturday night here in Azeroth, and I'm happy to be joining you at the round table. And Ben, I don't mean to alarm the people out there, but it's gonna get a little intimate in here.
I'm alarmed. I'm already alarmed.
It's gonna get a little...
I'm alarmed. Something's wrong.
Because it's just the two of us, Ben.
Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
I like that you've
Just the two
committed to dancing, which is really only going to entertain the video audiences, but, it's pretty good.
Well, and you know what? It's fine. I figure that people who are listening just on the audio version are imagining it anyway.
Yeah, they should always assume we're dancing. We basically always are.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, hey, John. How's it going?
Hi, good. You know what actually kind of bummed me out, Ben? I had a thought the other day, and it kind of made
I know
me
that
sad.
always bums you out.
It made me sad because I realized that there is a thing in World of Warcraft Legion that I like very, very much that I have a limited time with. And that is my artifact weapon.
Oh.
And not just my literal artifact weapon. Because,
Okay.
look, I play a rogue. We got this thing called the Dreadblades. They're pretty cool. I like them. They have a neat fantasy to them. I'm certainly not poo-pooing the Dreadblades. But
Yeah.
it's not like I got Ashbringer, right? Like, it's not like I got some weapon that has been used by major lore characters to do amazing things. So, I'm not necessarily...
Okay, to be fair, yours could have been done by major lore characters, doing amazing things, but they're rogues, so you never would have known.
Sure. So, it's not that I'm, really upset about losing the Dreadblades in and of themselves. But what I've really loved about this expansion is not having to worry about my weapons all expansion. It was really nice. As a thing that, especially for rogues, but I know there's plenty of other classes out there that are kind of like this.
Yeah.
Weapons are very key to your DPS and very key to your power within the game. And to have that kind of be a set thing, now granted it got stronger, we were powering it up, we were leveling it up, but to just know that I had good weapons and didn't have to worry about it was a really nice comfort through the entire expansion.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And so, yeah, I'm a healer now, and, I gotta say, having one less thing that you're constantly looking for a better drop, has been great. Like, it doesn't matter what class you play, whether it is DPS, tank, or heals. It's cool. And then added on top of that, the whole lore thing is really cool as well. It's something that I'm actually really happy about with this expansion. And I mean, okay, so on my paladin, I do have Ashbringer because I'm playing through Ret because you get Ashbringer, and the idea of wielding it is pretty cool. But on my monk, I've got the staff that, I mean, a big lore character was wielding it, but he showed up in Pandaria, so we didn't really know much about it. It doesn't have this huge history and everything like that. And even more so, I actually changed the appearance to the hidden one, so technically it's kind of not what he had, but it's still really cool. So even like past the whole, weapon drops and stuff like that, I still have that total like emotional attachment as well. So I'm kind of in the same boat for both reasons.
Yeah. And I mean it's true. They also give abilities. I remember when we were calling it quits for Miss Pandaria, and I was like, man, I'm gonna lose my legendary cloak. I need this. I need this to
Yeah.
live, because it gave you such a cool ability with rogues. It was this massive cleave, like all of a sudden, just in front of you, it was just tiger scratches all across the screen. It did a ton of AOE damage, and it was like, man, I'm gonna have to give this up.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm really sad about having to say goodbye to my artifact weapon. And I guess we should say, disclaimer, we don't know that they're going away, but Blizzard's been pretty vocal about how that's
How
this
they're going to go
expansion
away.
thing. Yeah, I don't feel like it's going to be a big surprise if they turn around and they're like, well, and you're done with artifact weapons. I feel like we will have said, okay,
Yeah.
that's exactly what we expected to have happen.
Well, and in all honesty, for my own like headcanon and everything, I'm probably going to transmog any staff I get on a mage in the future to this staff. Because in my head, it is like one of the ultimate weapons.
Yeah.
And that kind of, I don't know, it makes you feel really cool because you have this weapon. And I mean, I know there's the whole meme out there of Abu from Aladdin holding Ashbringer, and the guards are like, he's got an Ashbringer. And they're, oh, we've all got Ashbringers, and
Yeah.
and all that. And that's fine. And the only time that I ever noticed that specific weapon as like, holy crap, we all really do have this, is Ashbringer when I'm at the Paladin class hall. Like everything else is not a big deal. It's funny on my mage when I run around and see other fire mages and they've got the fiery orbs and everything like that. I never look at the sword because I'm like, yeah, they're a mage. They got fire orbs. It happens. It fits with the class for me.
Well, and I still stand by that Blizzard, it's on them to create uh, items that are just as cool as Ashbringer.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
uh, I don't use the legendary model when I'm on my warrior. I personally don't care for how the artifact weapons for warrior looks. I just don't like
The
it
the
that
dual
much.
the dual swords.
Yeah, actually, I kind of don't like any of them. I don't think they look great in general,
They look
but
like big pieces of like plastic as opposed to like actual blades.
But I mean, that's what transmog's there for, and I think that as long as Blizzard's putting cool looking content in the game, if they put in an amazing looking, cool two handed sword, there's a good chance that a lot of the people will say, "Ah, yeah, I got Ashbringer, but I've had Ashbringer now for a whole expansion. I
Yeah.
don't know if I still need Ashbringer. Maybe I'll switch to this cool new thing." But if they don't ever put anything in the game that compares to it, then yeah, it's really on them that people never switch away from it.
Very true. The real big thing that I'm actually worried about is, so all the really cool talents and like passives and stuff that were added to our kit via the weapon. Some of that stuff is like kind of really important and helps out way too much in my normal like healing rotation. Or as a mage, there's this one ability or one, what do you call it, one talent spot or whatever on my weapon, where when I blink, I start to regen some health. Which, guess what? If you're a mage and you're out in the world, that's really handy because the whole like you only get to use one potion rule. Well, if I'm dying and I pop a potion, that's all I got. So being able to heal a little bit is really nice and handy.
That's a good question because they did tie with, trimming down our kits, they did tie a lot of our personal power into the artifact weapons. And once those go away, I am curious what they're going to do. Are they going to say, well, like, oh, you absorbed the power of your artifact weapon and now you just
Mhm.
passively gain all the things? Because they are basically giving us fully unlocked artifacts coming up soon, I believe, right? Like, there's something where it's just going to skip to a final version.
Well, it's just when you hit 110, then you start with 40 artifact knowledge already.
Oh, okay. So you're
Yeah.
close. It's easier to unlock,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah. I mean, there could be more. I haven't really dug in a whole bunch because one, time,
Hmm.
and two, just the idea of spoiling everything beforehand is something that I don't exactly want. So,
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe they will eventually just roll it in and it'll just be part of our kit, but maybe there will be something in the next expansion where it's like, "Hey, we found a new way to make you really powerful." But if all of that were to just disappear, it wouldn't be surprising if it was another situation like the patch prior to Legion coming out where you were technically weaker because you didn't have
mhm.
your artifact weapon yet. And so there was content you couldn't solo that you might have been able to solo before.
Yeah, because for the Night Before Legion patch, didn't you actually try to solo what was it, Firelands?
Yeah, I tried to solo 40-man Firelands, which I
And
had
the
done
dogs didn't work.
before. Uh,
Yeah,
I had done 40-man heroic Firelands solo
or
plenty of
25.
times. Yeah, 25. Really back in the day, right? Uh, 25 man. But I'd done it before, and all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, let's do that. I need to kill time before the expansion drops. And yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't beat the two dogs. They
Yeah,
would,
Shanix.
yeah, it wasn't that they were like just out DPSing me or anything, but it was, there's that race that you have to get the
Mhm.
dog down before it dives on you because otherwise you just can't get up and it'll just kill you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't beat it anymore because the way the power structure and the energy regeneration and all that stuff had shifted so dramatically. It was no longer possible for me.
Yeah. Well, and something that we actually talked about, gosh, probably close to when the expansion dropped, since we were actually really happy with the artifacts and just thinking this is one of the greatest systems added. When we were talking about what's going to happen in the next expansion, is what if we did keep them, but they slowly leveled up, and then at that point, what would be the special thing in the next expansion? Like
Right.
a chest piece or a helm or something like that, and you know I like the idea of having like awesome gear that slowly kind of levels with you and everything. Like that's one of the reasons why I level with heirlooms, is because I don't have to worry about, finding the right drop in order to actually still be able to do stuff. Although it's a little hard now considering they don't have, heirloom trinkets that are even super easy to come by, or heirloom, boots or gloves or anything.
Yeah.
So when I'm going through and leveling with invasions, John, I have some issues. It's like, oh, I'm level 107. This is great. I'm still wearing a 650 green shoe from last expansion. This isn't good. This
Yeah.
isn't good at all. But I mean, I can't see them doing like a here's your armor. It's just going to level up, because I mean, it makes sense story wise for the artifact weapons. It gives us something really cool to kind of focus on and look at this expansion. But unless they continue with those artifact weapons, I think the concept and idea behind this is actually done for this expansion.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm gonna miss it, but it does leave a lot of questions about what's to come, and I'm excited to see what that might be.
Yeah.
Um, I'm very very anxious to find out about you know the new expansion. I was gonna just flat out call it Coltiris, but I guess
No, it's
technically we don't know that yet.
no, it's World of Warcraft Garrus. Everybody knows that.
We're all getting boats in the next one.
If you are actually like a pirate captain in the next expansion, that's going to be really
I
cool.
am 100% convinced that is going to happen, by the way. I just want to
Oh.
make it clear. I know this isn't a prediction show, but it's kind of becoming one. I am 100% convinced we are all getting ships. At the very least, rogues are getting pirate ships.
That's it. Everyone else needs to be ferried across by the roads.
Yeah. Uh, I just convinced that's going to be like the new. Well, I don't know, because they did say dollar. Wait, did they say Dollarand's moving to the next expansion? No, I just read that as a
I don't
rumor,
know.
and I'm treating it as fact.
No, that's our new ship. It's going to get sails, and they're putting a giant cork in the sewer drain so that it can float. Otherwise, all the rogues are going to be really sad because their order hall's gone. So, well,
I
I mean, it kind of makes sense that they're doing that. But then again, we don't know what's going to happen with the order halls and stuff. Like, do you disband your order at the end of the expansion? It's like, oh yeah, this is our base of operation, but never mind.
we're done. We don't like each other anymore.
We beat the Legion. We're good.
Yeah.
Bye,
Now we
everybody.
can go do our own things. I am really excited about something else that I saw recently.
Oh, really?
Friend of the show. I'm gonna just say I don't think that's
Mhm.
totally true, but it's not totally false either. Friend of the show, Taryn Gregory.
Oh, yeah. No, I would say friend of the show because we talked to him in a friendly manner at BlizzCon a couple
Yeah, so
times.
friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show.
um,
If
he
we're not friends, Taryn Gregory, tweet us and let us know.
he's been doing a little bit of teasing as well on Twitter, talking about the ability to do more on the fly, not really on the fly, but more in-game cinematics.
Hmm.
And he did even say that they have the tech now that it could incorporate your character into them.
Ooh.
So, Ben, that's extremely exciting to me.
Wait, so cinematics like in-game cinematics where they
Mm-hmm.
kind of already have your character just kind of standing there looking surprised half the time, or like opening cinematic to the game?
No, not opening cinematic to the game, but
Dang it, because that would be really cool.
imagine, so Wrathgate was a pre-rendered cinematic, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Imagine if it was rendered in engine at the time and could incorporate your character into it.
Okay.
That's what I'm picturing. Now, he hasn't come out and been like, let me be completely
Well,
clear on
John,
how
we
this is going to work.
we've had that in a lot of different things. Like, I mean, back in Oldham, I mean, your character was there, you ran, that's about it.
Yeah, but your character didn't do shit.
What
Like,
about when you're playing as Illidan and you're a boss and your character's doing stuff there?
is your character even in there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
I was
never
at
looked for
least.
myself. I was a
I was one
rogue.
of the last ones dead. I kept myself alive.
I was hiding from Illidan trash.
Yeah, I can see that.
But anyway, he's talking about it like it's a new thing, Ben. So I think it's safe to say that
Okay.
it's not what we've seen before.
Okay. Well, then that could work.
I'll let him know that you think that could work.
Well, no, no. I'm saying the way that you're going about it. Okay. Well, it must be something fancier. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
excited
full
about that because it's about time that my character feels like they get to be a part of events. Like that's kind of the thing we always joke about is like who's going to swoop in and get the big boss kill each expansion. I'm sure it's going to happen again in this one. This isn't spoilers. I don't know, but here's my guess when it comes time to kill the final boss. Oh, people have already seen it now, right?
I haven't.
Because technically Raid Finder's done. All right, well, I haven't seen it either. But my guess is that either Illidan or
Khadgar.
what's his name? No, probably not Khadgar, but maybe.
Velen. Prophet Velen.
Yes, Velen. My guess is either Illidan or Velen step in and get the final kill here. Oh no, because I'm thinking final of the expansion. So
Yeah,
we're
that's
talking
what I was talking about. I'm like, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't think that's even in the game, but that's my guess.
Yeah, you'd be correct because I have seen that.
Oh, okay. So
I'm not going to say who.
it's always a
But
case
of those
of
people.
like who's going to step in and get it. And
Mhm.
technically, if they can incorporate your character into cinematics now, in theory, if they could get to that, they could actually, for once, have your character kill whatever the final boss is.
Yeah, that could be interesting. But then would they take into consideration like who the tank was, or maybe like if you're a healer or something? Because I can't see myself like the entire fight. I'm healing my tanks, healing
Mm-hmm.
the rest of my group, and then all of a sudden there's a cutscene where I run up and smack him over the head with a stick.
I mean, if your group needed you to.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that I've DPS the last
You're
boss.
saying this technology is going to ruin it for pacifists? Like, my character wants to be a part of things, but only ever wants to heal. And then all of a sudden there's a
No, I'm
cutscene
not
of
saying
them just
that.
like they've been healing, and then all of a sudden they just go, oh, and then they just tear the boss in half.
Well, I mean, you have to take things like that into consideration of what your role is in the whole thing. Like, are you a support and suddenly you get the killing blow? That it logically it doesn't make as much sense.
Ben,
Like,
even
I could see it if they have like the main tank or something, like, because you're identified as a tank in your raid. It just happens now. You don't have to actually tag it anymore like you did way back in like Burning Crusade. So if they had like I don't know, placeholder tank here, defending or something, and then maybe it randomly picks one of the DPS to, you know, do a killing blow or something. That could be something that's kind of cool and actually have people watching the cutscene every single time you kill the boss.
I don't know. To me, if it goes to another guild member, it's just as bad as if it goes to Thrall. Maybe worse.
But it's someone on your raid team who technically, in theory, you like. I mean, if
No,
you're running
screw
LFR, then
every
it could
single
suck.
one of those people. um, I don't know.
See, I gotta play that for everybody on raid on Sunday.
John wanted to send you all a nice recorded message. It's the
Actually,
raid
half the
team
raid
that
team
you
listens
like.
anyway, so I think we're
No,
good.
screw those people. Look, I would expect them to say the same thing about me. If they saw a cutscene where I dive in and kill the final boss, I would expect them to be like, John, he hides
Well,
from
yeah.
trash half the
Well, no,
raid.
it's because you never show up to raid.
Why is he there? Like,
Like, okay, if it showed you like each and every time, it would be one of those like, why the hell is he even here? He never helped us this entire time. You're as bad as Illidan.
yeah, I mean, basically, I'm essentially role-playing an NPC when I'm raiding. But I don't know. My point is that it would feel cool. And also, my other point to healers is this. Look, even Lieutenant Morales has to fire a grenade from time to time.
I don't know who that is, John.
Oh, well, let me tell you all about
No,
her.
I don't need to
Lieutenant
tell.
Morales.
No, that's fine. I know who she is. Shut up. Yeah. No, okay, so the idea behind that in my head is actually really cool, but I'm going to amp it up a little bit.
Oh, no.
So, no, I think this is a good thing.
Okay.
So, okay. What if, because, I mean, right now, the way that our characters are, they're silent protagonists, essentially. We click on things every now and then, all that stuff.
Yeah, we're Link.
Yeah, we know what our characters sound like because, we tell jokes, we don't have enough energy, or we flirt, or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So get those same voice actors and actresses back in and actually have them do dialogue for cutscenes.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Or get different ones and really freak people out.
Okay, that'd be really good. For Anastasia! Yeah, I think that we need to actually fight Kael'thas again.
Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Your rule is over, Kael'thas. I will defeat you. Also, apparently, Kael'thas is back. I got bad news for you guys in the next expansion. Kael'thas is gone.
Yeah, why did we both go there?
I don't know. He's back.
Probably because of Blood Elf. Yeah.
We still, I mean, like, look, I don't want to speak for you, Ben, but we still really want a Kael'thas that's just a head and a mech body, right?
Yes, we do. Powered by those giant green crystals.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it. I mean, it'd be such a joke and so out of place, but I mean, and he has to say how something was only a setback again.
Getting my head cut off was only a setback. Ashalanore!
But okay, so here's the question: is he just an absolute joke of a boss who like dies instantly and something else bigger attacks, or is he actually something we need to worry about at this point?
I think he should be a threat, but he should be like mid-boss in a dungeon. Like, he continues to get demoted. He went raid boss to final dungeon boss to now he's a mid-boss in a dungeon.
Okay, I'm okay with that. He's in the head museum.
And then when he's like a reanimated eyeball in a tank, he's just a rare spawn.
No, he's a toy.
Uh, I like this idea, but actually, it's funny you mentioned that because today, this
Mhm.
will not surprise you. I was playing Heroes of the Storm.
Wait, what?
I know, and as you might know, there's a new hero in there that we have talked about and had opinions on, named Garrosh Hellscream.
Whoa, it is really windy by
I
you.
know it really is. I've got a
When
little.
did that happen?
I don't know. It was nice a minute ago. I summoned.
John,
I
are
summoned the
you
spirit
okay?
of Kael'thas. Um, and he's back. No, but we talked about, we have strong opinions on Garrosh. And in his appearance on Heroes of the Storm, there is a skin called Blackrock Garrosh. And it's probably his coolest version of the skin, which is this, like, completely, like, they're trying to make him look like Black Hand,
Okay.
basically. So he's got all the gray skin. His eyes are glowing all fiery. His chest is like starting to crack apart with fire coming through it. And I made the comment on the stream today that, like, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if they brought Garrosh back and this is what he looked like, except maybe instead of fire you go with lightning because he got struck by
Yeah.
lightning. And he came back, and it made me wonder why do I want Garrosh back? I'm not 100% sure on that.
Because it's a really cool skin. That's why.
Okay, it is a really cool skin, I think, but I think here's what happened.
Mhm.
I wanted to troll somebody, Bo, on Twitter, and I wanted to just post a gif of him being electrocuted to death constantly. I
Oh,
thought
gee, why?
I thought that would be a good way to do it.
That would be a good thing for Garrosh. I mean, for Bo to see.
Here's the problem. When I looked up to find animated gifs of Garrosh,
Hmm.
he's kind of been a bit of a badass. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, I found the gif of him getting electrocuted, but I had to go through a gif of him pummeling the crap out of Thrall, him throwing people, him punching people, him walking slowly across the dock while the dock explodes, him saying times change to Gul'dan in a real badass way. And when I was done with this attempt to troll somebody who likes Garrosh too much, I was faced with the quandary, do I like Garrosh now?
Well, okay. Let's look at this. Like, just really look at this. He was. I've said it before, but I'm pretty sure he was an original character for World of Warcraft.
Yes.
He had a character arc,
Yes.
and we learned more about him. It took 4 expansions for him to reach the pinnacle of how, like, I don't know, cool and bad and, like, terribly great he was as a character. And then
Yes.
in the next expansion, he had his end, which, well, it was neat, but at the same time, it's like it could have happened in the end of the expansion before. But
A little
anyways,
unfulfilling.
yeah. So um, I think if anything, you're looking for a new character that is fleshed out in kind of the same way because we've talked about it before about how good the storytelling for Garrosh was. He didn't actually get corrupted by the old gods or anything else. He specifically chose to Shaw infuse himself. That's
Yeah.
what he did. He wasn't corrupted by it, and it made for a more compelling villain. And it's still one of my favorite expansions where we got to go through and completely take down a leader who was basically turning everybody into, you're either a great orc or get the f out. And we took this dictator down, and his growth from just like weakling up to what he was interesting from a storytelling perspective.
And I think you've kind of nailed on, like, the parts that I remind myself of when I'm like, no, turns out I don't like Garrosh. Which is, I need to remind myself that, like, hey, if you weren't an orc or a tauren, you were awful.
And even the
Um,
Tauren.
and even the tauren, yeah, you killed your leader. Um, and he did the whole Theramore thing, which,
Hmm.
you know, like one of my favorite comments is when people are like, I play Alliance. I'm like, oh, what's it like to play the villains? And yeah, I do that as a joke to be kind of a jerk. But the
Yeah.
truth is, WoW has done a very good job of keeping Horde and Alliance to where there's good guys and bad guys on both sides. There's right and wrong on both sides. Generally speaking, there is no good guys and bad guys between the Alliance and Horde. And Garrosh was the first time that that really changed dramatically. Like,
Hmm.
that was the point where it was like, oh, guys, I guess we're on the bad guy team now. And you got quests to work against him eventually, but for a while, like, you were carrying out his orders and just kind of finding yourself like, why am I helping this guy? Like, this guy's a bad guy. Why would I do quests for him? Uh,
Hmm.
so I
Well,
think
and
that was the part that was frustrating about him. I
but the neat thing about that was is that we actually got our out from that, where we were able to stand up and be part of the resistance and stop that whole thing. And that's the part of it that I really enjoyed for that expansion, is because we knew what was going on. Granted, we couldn't just flat out like refuse him or anything like that, but we were in rebellion against our leader.
Yeah, I feel like they could have maybe leaned into that a little bit more. I mean, maybe in an MMO setting it's a little harder to do, but I never really felt like I was rebelling. I felt like I was occasionally reporting to Thrall and Zul'jin and Chen, and they were rebelling for me.
Yeah.
Um, and that was kind of it. And
Well, they were the leaders, I guess.
then eventually we, invaded, and like that was kind of
Hmm.
it. But it was an interesting arc, and I am curious. I guess this is a question to give you on the spot. Is there a lore character right now that you would like to see fleshed out? Not the same path, but get the same Garrosh
Hmm.
treatment, a character that we can follow through multiple expansions and watch them grow and evolve as characters. Like, is there anyone right now that fits that role for you?
Well, I mean, I could start with the holes that I would like at least filled.
Right.
And I mean, the big one I have to say is, I mean, Jaina, we talked a lot about her last week. I'm not going to kind of rehash that. I like Jaina. I think that she has so much more story to tell, especially with, differing perspectives that she's gotten now and everything like that. So just ending that right there. I would like to see more with Rathion. He seemed like a promising character who we actually interacted with a lot, and then just completely disappeared for two expansions.
Yeah.
So there's a big hole right there that I would love to get more information on. In theory, we're going to get a little bit of him next expansion because you talked to him at one point in the whole Chromie thing. So maybe. Um, Gosh, other than that, I mean, if we're looking at leaders, I would love to see more of Taronda, whatever.
Taronda.
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 I I think she's cool, and I don't think that she has had any character development whatsoever, other than she's Malfurion's girlfriend. And I mean, granted, she's the leader of the Nine Elves, but that's secondary in everybody's mind, which is so sad. But I think that she has a really cool story that she can tell. I have to agree with Alessandra in the chat room. Bane, I would love to learn more about him. In which was it, the Jaina book where Bane was kind of a heavy character? It was,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was a focal point.
yeah. I really liked getting to know him more in that aspect, and then every single thing about him just dropped.
And actually, it's kind of funny because we talked last week about Christy Golden joining Blizzard and saying, like,
Hmm.
well, hey, maybe she's going to bring a little more life to Jaina because she writes her so well. But she's also done a lot of writing on Bane.
Yeah.
He's been kind of her go to character for when she's talking about the Horde. So, as much as we could say, like, hey, Christy Golden's writing Jaina stuff, hopefully same could be said for Bane, because he was
Hmm.
a major character whenever she was writing. He does need a new. Does he have a new model?
Well, I mean, he got the new one in Warlord, or not Warlords, in Cataclysm, and I think that's all they've done with him.
I don't know. Like that's the big problem is like I like Bane in books, but like I feel like I just don't see him enough in game. I wouldn't even recognize if he
Hi, I'm a
showed up.
Tauren.
Like he needs some distinctiveness. They should give him a robot
Yeah.
arm.
Well,
No, they shouldn't
and I
give him a
mean,
robot arm.
I actually almost totally agreed with that for a second. That I'm like, no, wait, what are you saying? Um, I think that if they just put more time into, I don't know, maybe the races that aren't humans and orcs, it could be a lot more interesting too.
Although that said, I feel like, and we touched on this a little bit with our leadership, but I actually feel like we're down a lot of interesting characters from a lot of the races in the game.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of orcs to be interested in at the moment. Most of them are either kind of retired, you know what they're doing.
Or
Thrall,
you don't know their name.
Thrall is actually super interesting right now, but I feel like they're afraid to go talk about Thrall because everybody's like, Green Jesus. But like his inability to call on the elements now because of his duel with Garrosh is super compelling,
Hmm.
and I'm curious what's going on with that. I don't know if we're ever going to get it addressed because again, people get mad anytime Thrall shows up.
Well,
But
okay, hold on. I got to touch on something with this because I kind of had a thought on it and I'm curious. So, do you think that the elements of other dimension Draenor talk to the elements of Azeroth? I mean, do they all exist on one elemental plane?
they
Because,
they
I mean,
called
think
up.
about it. He did it on Draenor right there. I mean, granted, yeah, he can't use the Doomhammer as well, but does that automatically mean it's like, oh my gosh, did you see what Thrall did? Hold on, I'm gonna go tell Joey in
Hold on,
Azeroth
I gotta call
Universe 7.
Azeroth.
Yeah,
Doot, 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 doot,
exactly.
doot. I think Thrall's issue is psychological. I
Yeah.
think that Garrosh's final words to him rang a little true, and I think he has his own personal problems, and he's blaming the elements. Like he's like, "Bah, the elements won't listen to me." Well, the issue's probably Thrall at this point. So, yeah, I'm actually really curious about it. Again, I don't know if we'll get it because people like to complain about Thrall being in it too much, and maybe he was. It's a bigger alliance issue because he was literally the Horde leader for a time. So I
Hmm.
do kind of get when he's your main character that you're like, well, we don't really want to follow that guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. It doesn't mean he wasn't interesting. So I would
Yeah,
like to
true.
see more of that. But I mean, when you think about again, like orcs, there's not a ton of interesting orcs. Garrosh was interesting,
Hmm.
whether you
Even though we
like,
hated him,
yeah,
absolutely hated him.
hated him, but he was at least interesting. Um, there's a lot of races that I'm just like, we don't have a lot of trolls.
Hmm.
We had Vol'jin, he's gone. There's not a lot of trolls that are stepping up as like I'm the cool new troll character.
Yeah, and
In
Vol'jin
the
was so
place.
great. I mean, he loved his people, and he was gonna build him a lazy river in Orgrimmar. It's just one of those things. Vol'jin is remembered so greatly and fondly, and now he's gone.
I think he's typically remembered with Wait, Vol'jin was here.
Well, there's that too.
It's
I
very.
just still have hopes that there's going to be the Vol'jin Memorial Canal.
Was a very brief. Yes, please. It's what Vol'jin would have wanted. Dang it.
Yes, he would have wanted a lazy river for everybody to float down in Orgrimmar. Come on.
Yeah. When are we gonna get another Orgrimmar redesign?
I don't know. I mean,
Probably never, but
well, I mean, if you look at it, it's sturdy at least. So that was something that Garrosh did. He sturdied it up.
I don't like new Orgrimmar.
I don't either.
I didn't like old Orgrimmar for that matter. Like it's
Mhm.
never been a good city in my opinion, but I don't think they made it better.
Yeah, let's just switch the capital to Silver Moon.
I don't think you're gonna get people on board with that,
Oh, I
Ben.
know I'm not. Well, one, nobody knows their way around there unless they were part of like the AIE craft fair. Other than that, no one knows.
It is a better city, hands down.
Yeah,
There's a lot of better cities. Undercity's a better city, but
Undercity's a great city.
they're all inconvenient. It's always about the
Hmm.
capital, and Orgrimmar's just not good.
Well,
And
none of the Horde cities are convenient at all. Again, you can't fly in Silver Moon. No one knows where anything is. The Thunder Bluff, you have to like climb a tower to go anywhere and know where it is. Undercity, well, it's all in a circle, and if you're in the wrong end of the circle, you're like, crap.
I had to go all around this circle.
Yeah. And then Thunder Bluff, Silver Moon. Well, in Orgrimmar, everything's just all over the place. Yeah, that's all of them, right?
Orgrimmar, I don't mind Orgrimmar necessarily all that much until I'm on an alt that can't fly there.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, Orgrimmar becomes the worst city in the world.
It's like, I want to fly out of here. There's only two places I can get an elevator, and they're really out of the way.
And they take forever.
You know what? They need mages at the bottom. Just teleport you up to the top.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that, actually.
B2.
Yeah. Translocate.
I'm trying to think, like, I mean, on the Alliance side, I think Draenei have every right in the world to complain about their city.
Well, I mean, granted, it's kind of small, but I don't know where anything is. And I mean, this is a Horde player, and I always rate it every year. But yeah. Okay, so I will say this: I love Stormwind and the look of it, and it's great, but it's huge.
I mean, it's the best city.
Yeah, definitely.
I also like Ironforge a lot.
Ironforge is my favorite.
I think Ironforge looks cool. It is cool. What else they got?
They have a really cool, like...
Oh, the tree thing.
Oh, Darnassus?
Yeah. Darnassus is alright. It's not terrible.
Yeah. And, you know, things seem to be easier to find in Alliance cities.
Mm-hmm.
Except for except for the Exodar.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Oh my gosh, the friggin' Exodar. We've had to do so much in the Exodar recently. Like and now granted, I will say this, that not everybody's going to agree with this because rogues had to do a bunch more stuff in the Exodar than most people. I feel like I've spent so much time in the Exodar this expansion. There was the whole stage that took place in the Exodar. I think there were twice that rogues had to go into the Exodar for some reason.
Yeah, because I think you had to kill, and then you also had to kill again, or something like that.
And every single time I got so friggin' lost in that city. And I played Draenei. I think Draenei are the second best Alliance race. They're right
behind
up there.
Pandaren?
Nope. I really like Draenei a lot. I think they're great. But yeah, even as a Draenei running around there, I'm just like, I don't know where anything is.
Yeah. You know what? That would be kind of cool. A Sylvanas-led redesign of Orgrimmar.
Yeah.
As long as there's not like plague all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she would do that.
Well, you never know.
But what if she just rebuilt Upper Lordaeron?
That'd be cool.
Like, it's like, and it was just like, you know what? We're done. We're done being an undercity. Like, I'm the leader of the friggin' Horde. We got all this real estate up top. We're going to rebuild. We're going to make it awesome.
I like that.
Then nobody would go to the Undercity. I don't know. I don't know how you make a new capital in WoW. Because, like, really, is it just the fact that there are portals in Orgrimmar that makes it our capital city? Like, is that just 100% it?
Yeah. I mean, and they're the portals to the Cataclysm zones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, this expansion, Dalaran's the capital city.
Yeah.
Because it has portals to everywhere for the Horde.
That's
except
true.
for Old Dalaran. Which I love. I don't know how many times in Guild I see the question of, where's the portal to Dalaran? Or to Old Dalaran and Dalaran? And everyone's like, well, you can't do that. Because of, time travel.
It's just a little bit too magic for Dalaran.
They should have like some bronze dragon just kind of hiding somewhere, just like, hey, you want to go to Old Dalaran? 5 gold.
Yeah, I'll take you there. We're gonna go back in time.
I'd actually be really cool with that. That'd be funny. They'd have to be in the underbelly, though.
What do you think they did with that statue? The Tyrion
the one in the
Forge
center?
statue.
Well, that's the funny thing is, okay, so that's the funny thing is, yeah, that's English, man. Um, when we got into the beta, and all of a sudden we walk in and there's this giant thing there, I'm like, oh, statue's gone. Huh. Okay. Like it's almost like Jane was like, yeah, well, I don't want to, you know, constantly see a reminder that Arthas turned into the Lich King, so let's build a building instead.
Yeah.
Like that's all I can figure.
I just
Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if it was like on the bottom of the road, like in the water in the Rogue Order Hall? It's just like on its side, just down in the bottom in the
actually,
sewers.
you know what would be a hilarious spot for it? If you went
Lights Hope.
if you went to where Dalaran was in Northrend, like beneath where it was floating, like right at the bottom, it's just like half embedded into the landscape. Like somebody was just like, nope, he told us not to tell anybody what happened, and push the statue all the way
It's
off.
just,
And,
yeah, just on the ground in Crystal Song Forest and like
yeah.
the that little river area. Oh my gosh, that'd be great.
I hope there's a mystery. I never gave a character that I would like to become the new Garrosh that we follow. So my new answer is
Oh,
I want to know what happened to the Tyrion Fordring statue that was in Dalaran. I want a canonical answer of where it went.
yeah, I'm good with that. And then you'll just be happy for the rest of the expansion.
I mean, shouldn't it have been in the so when you go into the middle of that building and you
Mhm.
teleport like and it's like a big library and they keep relics and stuff in there? It should have been in there, right?
I would think so. Like, okay, wouldn't it be cool if there was I think, bigger on the inside kind of moment going on? Because I mean, there already is,
Yeah.
but like just this hallway that has, just a whole bunch of different like random treasures and stuff. Like, think Asgard Treasure Vault or something, where all
Yeah.
these dangerous things are and all that stuff, and the statue's just over there. It's like, huh, okay,
Yeah, it's a
and
statue of
just keep going.
forbidden knowledge. I do
Yeah.
think that there should be something like that. They could put the big Deathwing jaw there. I mean, I know it's being displayed in both capitals,
Mhm.
but like, also, all right. I keep asking really dumb, lore nitpicky questions, but
That's
like,
okay. Like if we're not the ones to answer it, who will?
who's the person that after we killed Deathwing saw this massive piece of jaw that's like the size of a building and was like, guys, we gotta keep this.
Well, it's the same person who keeps collecting, dragon heads and puts them outside of, in the capital city. Although I don't know if they do that anymore.
They
But
still
they're
do
like,
it.
hey, we couldn't get his head. Oh, let's just take this, part of his jaw. That's cool, right?
I'm keeping this. Just some guy with his arms up holding it.
No, we finished the. It has the cutscene. Everything dies. The dragons walk out. And they're like, "Yes, we gave our power. We're mortal." Blah blah blah. And all this stuff. And then in the background, you see this just this one human and one orc both run towards it. And go dibs.
They're both tugging it back and forth.
No, they can't even move it. They're just like hands on it. Like the whole the last person to take their hand off wins it. Oh my gosh, that would be great.
I just like to imagine a cutscene where that's very serious and they're talking about their drained powers, and in the background you just see a guy with a big rope and a pulley just going, "Ugh," and then it just drags a little bit, "Ugh," drags a little bit. "Ugh."
Or what about like, okay, so maybe an end of tier cutscene or something like that, where it's a big boss or whatever, and you see someone just going and rifling through its pockets to get the loot. Like all of a sudden pick something up, and cheers, is happy, and then runs
Yay!
away. And another person maybe runs up and grabs it from him. Ninja. I don't know.
I found out why Deathwing was angry, guys. He had a sword in his mouth. Woo! Woo!
That's a tooth.
Well, it's a sword now.
Wow, that is really
I know.
windy.
I know.
John, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Did you anger the elements?
Yeah, I was in a Matgara
Oh,
and I decided to use the elements to defeat my enemy.
oh. See, that's rule number one. You don't use the elements to defeat your enemy.
Turns out that's where I went wrong. Turns out you're not supposed to do that.
I didn't even know it was windy outside.
I didn't know either. It seemed nice earlier.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh well. Sorry, that's the second time I call attention. It's just this sudden rush of wind that I'm not used to hearing from you.
We live in a place where the weather isn't ever.
Yeah. Well, it's either insanely hot or just random
Hmm.
for a little while, and then it goes back to insanely hot.
This would be one of the random moments.
Yeah, apparently.
It's
Huh.
good. It's
Okay,
really the
so
fault of my window. My window has a small gap in it. And
oh,
yeah,
well, you should get like some putty or something.
I don't know. I don't know about putties. The only thing I know
It's just
about
gonna be too
putties
silly.
I learned from Power Rangers. So
Not that kind. Just having a dude in your apartment going in front of the window.
yeah, there's a gap. Can you fix it?
No, just put your face up against it.
Thank you. It's really helped the whistling that was driving me crazy.
Wow. That's wow. Okay, so as far as trophies go, we've got the statue that disappeared,
Uh huh.
the big jaw of Deathwing that is just there forever now.
Yeah.
We didn't get a trophy from Pandaria, did we?
Hmm.
I mean, I highly doubt that we're going to have a giant heart anywhere in the city.
Hey guys.
Look what I found.
No, I don't think we have any sort of. Our trophy is that we still control the city. That's our
Oh,
trophy.
okay, that works. Um, okay, and Draenor, nothing from Draenor, right?
No, the trophy there is that we don't have to go back.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I went back to my garrison, John, and the reason why is because I found some really awesome things called gosh, what are they? Like PvP medallions or whatever.
Okay.
And you can use like 12 of those and get an entire PvP transmog set.
What? Where'd you get these?
They're from World Quests. Well, I mean, they're also from like actually doing PvP, but they're World Quests.
Where
You
do I
get, I think,
exchange
four
these?
of them. A bunch of different places. Like, did you ever see my transmog that I had with the light up dragon shoulders and the light up dragon face?
No.
Oh, it's so cool. That's a PvP relic from or a set from Mr. Pandaria. Then I recently got one from Warlords of Draenor that's it's the tier look that you liked with the face mask,
Yeah.
except it's like white and blue. It looks really cool. So yeah, I just went to Ashran and traded 12 of them in Pandaria for the other one. But yeah, you just go through and you can get the whole set.
That's
Gives you an achievement
awesome.
and everything.
I
Oh yeah,
want
it's
I want
great.
to do this. So I actually right now my character is transmogged into a PvP set right now.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's actually very very cool. It's white and red, which I think is a good color. It looks very
Hmm.
Assassin's Creedy.
Yeah.
Not that I like Assassin's Creed all that much, but hey, there's something to be said about cool hoods and white cloth when you're stealthy.
Oh totally.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go look some of those up because I find when I'm looking through like transmog guides, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Where do I get it? And it's like PvP.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff is definitely tied to PvP. But the thing is it's I think I want to say it's 12 honor tokens, and someone actually said exactly what it was in the chat. But no, it is 12 honor tokens. You trade that for the look, and then you can piecemeal it. So it's not just like I have this set and I can only use this set. Like I can
Right.
use the headpiece from that and then a ton of other stuff if I want to. So
Well, hot
yeah,
dang.
totally worth it.
I think
And
I
the fact that
have honor tokens right now. I think I have a
okay.
few of them because I tend to earn them and not do anything with them.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that when those world quests show up for the towers are super easy to do. So you're getting, your PvP like progression done there, but also four of those tokens. So do three of them, and then boom, you have a new set.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm going to check those out. You've
Yeah.
given me a new thing to do in WoW, and hopefully you've given the audience. See, I didn't know that the vendors were off in, like, I'm guessing capitals. Like, where are they in the world?
Well, it depends on what expansion it's from. So it's Ashran in Warlords. In Mists, it's on the wall. At least
Cool.
the set that I got was on the wall. So you basically have to look at the set and then like use Wowhead to find like one of the pieces and where it's sold, and then that person's going to sell you the entire set
Cool.
for it. So yeah, it's really cool.
Well, awesome.
The downside is that those tokens aren't offered every single day. Like you know how there's always like 3 or 4 PvP quests.
Yeah.
Not every single day is there a token. So sometimes you have to wait a couple days and then one will pop up. But
Well,
if you've got alts, you can get like a whole set in one day.
regardless, I feel like you've given people a cool thing to look into if they didn't already know about
Oh
it.
yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah, I mean it's just one of those little things. I mean, I know how much you love transmog. I love it too. And when I found that out, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good with this. So, yeah.
cool.
Well, John, is there anything else you want to touch on? I know that you said that you had a bunch of different thoughts of little things here and there that you kind of wanted to talk about.
No, I think let's call that a show. Let's let people go out and buy their PvP gear and think about trophies and think about life.
Statues.
Maybe we can put the new trophies on our boats that we're gonna get in the new expansion,
I'm gonna put that statue just up right by the wheel.
as if it's the captain.
No. I'm gonna put it, and that's gonna be my spearhead or my figurehead. No one's supposed to know. Well, I'm gonna ram it into you. That sounded bad. Anyways, John, where can people find you?
Hey, if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at John_Jagger. I can also be found talking about Heroes of the Storm on Core,
Core.
which is the Heroes of the Storm podcast I do as part of the Frog Pants Network. You can find out more information about that show at heroesforyou.com.
Ooh.
Ben,
Yes, John.
thank you, first of all, for joining me this evening.
You bet. I enjoyed it. I actually rather enjoy talking to you every week, and even when we're not recording things.
Yeah. We were all ready to record yesterday. It was my fault we didn't, and it was completely unnecessary. So,
But that's okay because we're here today. And you know, in all honesty, I'm kind of glad we didn't because I crashed not that long afterwards. Like I finished eating, I finished watching Voltron and Netflix, and then just went to sleep.
well, I'm happy
And then woke up and worked for the day. So
that my indecisiveness could free you up for that time, and then free you up for that time for no reason whatsoever. But Ben, where can people find you when you're not watching Voltron or sleeping?
the best thing to do is follow me on Twitter. I am at Ben the Mage. And I do another show called Battle Pets. It's with Eludra, and we talk about battle pets
Battle
in
Pets.
the World of Warcraft. This show, however, Azeroth Roundtable, you can find it on AzerothRoundtable.com, as well as a link to our Discord. Feel free to join us. We do try to talk in there. John sometimes doesn't like the conversations because they're fun.
No,
You know
because
how
it's
he doesn't like fun.
full of bad puns.
Like I said, fun. If you don't want to go to our website but still want to hear all of our episodes, you can go to iTunes, Stitcher, which sometimes has problems apparently, but there's absolutely nothing we can do about that. Also on TuneIn and Alpha Geek Radio. If you have any questions, comments, want to tell us who you think should be fleshed out a little bit more, send those emails to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. And of course, our Twitter is AzerothRT, so tweet us. Say hi. We'd like to hear that.
It's true.
It is.
Is that it, Ben? You done?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
done with your bit?
I changed the order up a little bit, so I think I covered it.
Yep, I think it threw me off a little bit, but it was good.
Okay,
I
well,
liked
thanks.
it. It's fine. But I guess that means it's now on to this. Hey, everybody. Azeroth Roundtable is made possible by you, the listening audience, and we appreciate your support each and every week. Big thank you to our patrons. And if you are not a patron yet, we encourage you to go to patreon.com/AzerothRT and think about becoming one. Like I said, helps us out, helps keep us doing this show and having a good time. But we do want to give a special shout out, like we do each and every week, to the members of our Murloc Club. Those are Aaron, Simon, and Haster. Thank you for being part of the Murloc Club. Your extra support means the world to us. That's patreon.com/AzerothRT.
Yep, and we give you our Murloc salute.
Yep. People didn't see it, but Ben saluted when he Murgled.
Well, thank you. John, this has been Azeroth Roundtable. Thank you for joining me. Everybody, have fun in Azeroth and be good to each other. Goodbye, everybody.
The Monkey King blew away.
That is where we're ending the podcast. Save project as art show. I'm saving the show, John.
Saving the show.
Saving the show.
Saving the show. So, did you like our new overlay?
Yeah, it looks good. I like that we're at the table.
Yeah, we're all at the table, and Illidan's thinking, and we got some Warcraft font business going on, and that's all exciting. And
yeah, I'm very glad you did some work on that. It looks very good.
Yeah, looks much better than the slapped together version I did.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
now it actually displays correctly.
Yeah.
Ever since the whole widescreen monitor debacle. Wasn't a debacle.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's been
great.
It
looks good. That's what matters.
I love it so much. We were laughing about it today. Oh, that just reminded me. Crap, I don't have the picture anymore.
No.
It was funny because we were loading into a match during the stream today for Heroes.
Core.
And I said to everybody, I was like, wow, you guys, I had no idea that Sylvanas was in the art for this. And they said, oh, she is? And I said, yeah, look it. And they said, where? On the left side, kind of in the middle. Where? Well, she's in a silhouette. You can only see her and her bow. Where? And what I realized, Ben, is that because I'm on the wide monitor, it has moved the character icons into the black border around the art.
Oh.
But for them, it's on the art. So they're being covered up by who the players are.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, man, that's a cool bit of art that they're not getting to see. Because it does look really cool. She's like up on a hill, completely silhouetted. And all you can see is her eyes glowing red and the purple of the arrow that she's getting ready to fire.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, it looks great. Nobody really gets to see it, so...
Oh, by the way, Sarah absolutely loved her Sylvanas figure.
Awesome.
Yeah, in fact, she tweeted it out, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, I need one! So if you saw her tweet, it is... You can find Sylvanas at... We found it at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Yes, they also had Raynor and not Thrall.
Yeah, Thrall was sold out.
Yes. Yes. Sold out, you say?
I do say.
Yeah, chip. Cheerio.
But, yeah. I'm going to just say, I recommend an ultra-wide monitor to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody should get one.
So, okay. Totally changing topics here. But, did you see that apparently the first cut of Justice League is so bad that they're completely changing the movie?
I didn't hear bad. I heard that it is getting extensive reshoots because a lot of the original footage was too serious and dark, and that they wanted to change the tone of the movie.
Oh, okay. Granted, I didn't read a whole article on it. I just saw a really quick, oh my god, they're so bad, they're changing everything. Okay. If they want to completely change the tone, that makes sense.
I mean, it's always dangerous because supposedly that's, a big part of what was wrong with the Suicide Squad movie, is that they filmed the movie, they put out those trailers, and people loved the trailers, and they were like, oh, but the movie doesn't really match the tone of these trailers. We should change the movie to match the tone. And they tried to do a bunch of edits and stuff to try to match it tonally. And as a result, Suicide Squad, a lot of the complaints about it, they said, felt like two different movies being told at the same time. So, I don't know. I mean, Joss Whedon, he's pretty talented. I certainly like him more than Zack Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
So I trust in his ability to put a movie together, but I don't know. I still don't know about Justice League. Like, I'm very worried about it. I, every
Yeah.
every time I watch it, I think Aquaman seems kind of dumb, and the Flash. Maybe it's because I like the Flash TV show, and I'm making comparisons I shouldn't be making. But every time I see the Flash, it's just like hashtag not my Flash.
Well, question for you, because I haven't watched the Flash TV show. Is there constantly lightning around him when he does stuff in the TV show?
There's lightning, but not a lot of it.
Because, like, I don't know. In the previews that I've seen, it's okay. Flash is going to do something, and it's just like there's lightning everywhere.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
like,
not
that
like
that
that.
doesn't seem like that'd be a good superpower to use around like people.
There is lightning in the show, but
Okay.
it's not a ton. At one point in the show, he learns to move fast enough to catch the bolt of lightning and throw it, which was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
Um, but
Yeah, I do need to watch those shows. I know that. I will eventually. See, the problem is like there's so much stuff that I want to watch, and right now I don't have a super like good amount of time to do it. But even more so, some things like you just want to watch and actually focus on, but because of the time limit, I have to do it with something else. So yeah, one of those things.
like, I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I'm interested at all in Justice League is because I want to see more Wonder Woman and
Hmm.
Batman, basically.
Yeah, same here.
Is kind of what it comes down to. And even Batman, I mean, they did such a bad job of getting that character right in Superman versus Batman. Like,
Hmm.
I'm kind of uninterested there too, because the character kind of feels tainted a little bit. Like,
Well, it's like the only part of Batman v Superman that I liked was the Batman being Batman scene.
and even then, he kills people in that scene.
Yeah, and that's where I had the issues with it. I'm like, eh. So yeah, but anyways, I think that's good for tonight,
Yeah, we talked about DC. I,
which
I
we
mean,
never do.
I like, it sounds like I'm picking on them, but like, I'm not kidding. I might buy a digital and Blu-ray copy of Wonder Woman. Like, they are capable of
Hmm.
doing it right, and I loved that movie.
Well, considering
And
it's Warner Brothers, it's not going to be on iTunes, so I will be doing both.
so yeah, like, I really really like what they can do. I just don't feel like they live up to it
Hmm.
enough.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey everybody, thank you very much for stopping by. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah.
We'll catch you all later, and you all have a good night.
I'm waving to John because you can't see me, but bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.